So our trailer is about a little over 2.5 years old, and we've used it fairly frequently. And the last time I noticed, the last couple of times I've taken it out, I've noticed that the battery is not having it. I mean, if it's plugged in and the electronics in the coach are keeping it topped up, it'll work. But if you shut the power off to it and then try to do anything, it can open maybe 2 out of the 3 slides, and then it is just stone cold dead. So we're going to shut the power off to it and take some measurements and see what we got. Alright, so the power is off. Let's see. I guess I can disconnect the tire pressure monitor. Don't need that for right now. Alright, let's see what we got. Mind you, this has been on charge continuously. We're under 11 volts. And try to do something here. Just lifting the camper. So I'm thinking she's pretty well gone. Yep. So this battery is garbage, which I knew that anyway, but might as well test it. So what we're going to have to do, might as well shut this off for now. I got to disconnect this. This looks to be a couple of 1/2-inch bolts. Pull the battery out, figure out how that's down, because the new battery I have is much larger than this and won't fit in this box, so I have a new box for it. So we're going to get a wrench and try to take those bolts off. See if there's a warranty of any sort on this thing. My guess is it's probably a 24-monther. But there's no telling. Anyway, it's junk. So let's see, how is this held together? Little guys in there. Okay, oh boy. Oh, that's nice. So we have some really rusty looking, it's gotta be, yeah, full inch long. Self tapper is holding that box down, so I gotta go get something to try to grab onto those and get them out of there. And they are 3/8, and this one's coming out pretty good. I have to go get something a little different. Yeah, that one was a little snug. And there we go. A few little bugs on that thing. I'm gonna go get something to get rid of those guys. Alright, now that those little critters, which turned out to be spiders, have been disposed of, we are ready to let that sit for a little bit while I go get the new battery and new battery box. And I should be able to kind of just obviously hammer it in place the way they did. It's not going to take much. I'll probably use some new self-tappers because those are starting to get a little rusty. But that's about it. So I'm going to go get it, see what we got. So one of the things I also want to do while I'm under here is take a look at the switch. And maybe pop these off and just give them a scuff with some paper, with some sandpaper. Same thing with this stupid ground, which they also seem to use to hold the brake pop switch off. So that's kind of ridiculous. And a fuse under here. Up front, there's a fuse over here. Electrical box that's not terribly well sealed. And everything else looks about as... Woo! Okay. Oh my. Yeah, one of my mottos is if it looks like I did it, it's wrong. That's what it looks like when I do it. This is, to steal a line from Street Outlaws and Roadkill, looks like Ray Charles welded this with his feet. Good gracious, that's something. Ugh, my goodness. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm going to just take this, pop this nut off, and scuff each one of these little cables with some emery cloth just to make sure it's nice and clean and we're still good. And then we're going to start putting it back together. Alright, so there's the comparison. Same size wide, but a fair bit longer. So we're going to, and I'll tell you, a hell of a lot heavier. I don't know what, this is an AGM, I think. The other one's just lead acid. This is a very, goodness, heavy battery. And so, let's see how she's gonna fit. Actually pretty well. So, I think I'm gonna get some screws, attach that thing, and start seeing what we can do. Okay, so I got her screwed in with 4 self-tappers. She's not going to move. I also put a couple of little drain holes in the bottom because the other one I noticed didn't have it, and it had some evidence of some water having built up in it. I moved it to the other side mainly because this new battery is much heavier than the other one, and this camper is already excessively heavy on the off-door side. So whatever little bit I can do to move weight to that door side is better for this thing. I mean, it's not much. I mean, we're talking, you know, 6 inches from the center line here, but any little bit helps. So now I think we're in pretty good shape at this point. What I need to do now, I guess, is set the battery in there and see how she looks. Lord. Whew. See how the top's going to go on, where the vents are. And our positive next to the red, so that's good. Looks like we'll be able to come up there and there. Very good. Okay. Might as well clean these while I have them apart. Really? Of course. God. Well, we had 9 volts before. 12.8. Perfect. And this hasn't even been charged yet. So that is good. Let's see. We'll turn the key on. See if we can do this again. Oh, that's much better. I like this battery. That's a good one. All right. So now I have turned on the power to the coach. It'll take a minute for the thing to let it go. Very good. I have to do a little bit of work to tie these up, just a little bit out of the way. But that's how she does, and that is solid. So I've now got my battery replaced, a little bit offset. I'm going to have to change the way I mount or store my weight distribution bars. Normally I mounted them across, I set them across here, but now that the battery's much bigger, I'm going to have to maybe stick them across this way. Nothing too big. So what I'm probably going to do now is crack that gas flange a little bit and move it, just twist it so it's a little less stressed. And then I'm going to put some connectors on and wire up my tire pressure monitoring system booster. I'm going to hardwire it to one of the little fuses back there, just so I don't have those silly little clips on it. And then when I isolate the battery, I'll truly isolate the battery, because before I had it, even when the battery was shut off, it had that drain from there. I had to disconnect that separately. But that's it. Now got a new battery, and we should be good to go for, well, several more years anyway.